Hi, Al. I know it's probably been 20 years since we saw each other, so in case you don't recognize me, it's Amanda from Bill Murphy Waste Oil. I just wanted to send this video to wish you all the very best in your retirement. This is about the fifth take on this video. I had so much to say the previous ones were too long to even send. I will admit I had to make some notes to read from so I can keep this short enough to be able to send it to you. And of course now I got some neighbor asshole with a weed whacker going. I swear to God I'll take it and stuff it up his ass. I'm still the same delicate flower I always was. Anyways, I can't resist seizing this opportunity to reminisce a bit. I've thought of you often over the years. You, my father Bill Murphy, my uncle Jack Murphy, Paul Raftery, Don Littlefield. You guys really were the pioneers of the waste oil industry. In those years, working among all of you were truly the best times of my life. I always loved hearing the crazy, hilarious stories from the early days. They were truly classic. There will never be another time, another band of brothers like you guys. Some of the stunts you pulled on each other have become some of the greatest stories ever told. And what's even greater is that all of you looking back have also laughed. More than anything I miss in life, I miss those crazy waste oil days. We all had good times and bad times, but back then we were all in it together, good, bad, or otherwise. It was a unique time that can never be duplicated. I always thought of all of us as an elite group, born with waste oil running through our veins. It's no surprise that your kids and me inherited that same thirst for the madness of the environmental industry. And with that inheritance, we all carry with us the gift of the history our fathers gave to us. We were given an education that cannot be learned in college, cannot be bought or even taught. The kind of education that comes from living within it all. When I think of you, Al, I always think of how you somehow always managed to be so calm, cool, and collected. No matter what was going on, you were always the voice of reason. You always had the most up-to-date news of what was going on. When my father passed away, I would always call you. I called you for the latest news. I called you with questions. I called you asking for advice. I called you asking for favors. But most of all, I called you just to call you. And you always returned my calls. There was never one time that you didn't return a call. Not many people can say that. I remember back around 1997, I was building my first truck on my own. You took time from your busy schedule to bring me to Taylor & Lloyd in Bedford to look at trucks. I think you had a motorcycle back then, and I tried to talk you into taking me riding. On the way, you told me the funniest story. If I remember correctly, back in the late 70s or early 80s, you, my father, and Don Littlefield had met up at Friendly's in East Woburn on Montvale Ave. You had just bought a brand new Mercedes. As you were all walking out, you hit the automatic start on the Mercedes. Those weren't common back then. My father thought someone was stealing your new car. He snuck up on it and threw himself on the hood of the car. You guys laughed about that one for years. Al, I could go on and on and on with the stories. I wish my phone could handle a much longer video. Before I sign off, I want to share something with you. Something that you shared with me decades ago that completely changed my perspective of my entire life. This one thing got me through everything that has ever happened since the day you gave it to me. I cannot even tell you how many times that I have privately thanked you for this. Attitude by Charles Wendell. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Again, Al, I wish you all the best in your retirement. If you and any of your family are ever at Hampton Beach, I would love for you to stop by for a visit. I'm at 10 Tuttle Ave, and it would be so wonderful to see you again. Cheers to you and your career. Take care, my friend.